I'm live! And hello, my fellow Trekkies. You thought I was gone forever, but I'm not. What I am doing is struggling through the last couple of weeks of school because I do teach down here in Brazil, and it's end of semester, and that means I have little time to do anything but eat and breathe, basically, and watch some Star Trek in between. So that's what I did. So I did watch last week's episode last week, and I watched this week's episode just now, and I want to give you my thoughts on it. I'm going to give brief thoughts on last week's episode because, it's old news, and a few thoughts on this week's episode. I'm going to stop the cam because sometimes the internet is not that great. Actually, it hasn't been that great for about a week down here. So I'm just going to stop the cam and put on my slideshow, which I love, which is right there. And welcome. I said that I got one person on. If you're on and you love Star Trek, say hello. If you're enjoying the new season, say hello. So, quick thoughts on episode 5. Well, of course, hey, we got the callbacks to the Voyager J. We got some respect given to Nog, and that was really, really so sweet. Oh my God, that they did that. And it was so quick, though. It's nice that the fans picked it up. And I believe it's called an Eisenberg class ship, which is also really nice. So that's cool that we got kind of a completion to Nog's story. Yes, he did become a captain, or at least a figure great enough to deserve a starship named after him. So it's very cool that they put that in there. And it was a solid episode, guys. Very solid. I like the new admiral. I like the fact that they are keeping this hopeful vibe in Star Trek Discovery, but um, they're also playing it like, hey, we don't know who you guys are. We don't know, where you're from, what you're doing here. So it's very, very cool that they're giving this nice balance of what could be this very dark future, and that's, I'm not gonna lie, given Discovery's history, I kind of thought that that's what was in store for us, but it isn't. And if you hear me typing, guys, it's because, as usual, I forgot to do something the right before I went on, which is I forgot the new admiral's name. But he was really nice. He was one of my favorite characters. There you go. Odette Fair as Admiral Charles Vance. Really, really stern, no nonsense, but he's got this burden. You understand why he is like he is. So it's not like out of the blue, you just get this really nasty admiral who's this nasty admiral for no reason. Think about it. Put yourself in his shoes. Given what Starfleet has been through and what the universe is like, yeah, we're not just going to trust anybody coming here saying that they're from the past. Especially, they made mention of the temporal Cold War and all of that. So they're connecting a lot of past Trek to this present Trek, and it's I love him. I know I was listening to another reviewer that I really like, and she wasn't as happy. She thought that the gripe between him, and especially between him and Burnham, was a little bit too manufactured just to have conflict. But I don't think so, and especially given what Michael Burnham's been through in the 1 year, she's not really sure what her place is in Starfleet at the moment. And I like that about where they've taken her character. They softened her up, but they've made her a bit confused about what she really wants to do, where she belongs. I like that they did that. In this episode from today, really kind of consolidated on that in a really, really intense way, which I really love. So I really liked episode 5. I thought it was really well done, but we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go through episode 6, which is called Scavengers. And again, we get a lot of eye candy, guys. I love the eye candy. I love the eye candy from last episode where everybody was having a nerdgasm when they were seeing all the different ships and all the science that's happening, all the modernity that's happening. The 930 some years modernity that had been happening. And we got more of it with the Discovery getting retrofitted. I had seen in some of the Facebook groups, people were wondering what the new Discovery would look like if they would change it too much. So I'm glad they kept the design. It's basically the same ship, so it wasn't this like Enterprise to Enterprise A tonal shift in the ship. It still looks like the Discovery that I've grown to love. I didn't like the design of the Discovery at first, but I've grown to really like the design of the Discovery. So we kept it. But what was cool is like they got the separated nacelles, which is really nice. And we got the little droid robots, whatever, working on the ship on the outside, which I think are so cute. Those are like the cutest little things ever. So love it how they're just giving us eye candy to enjoy uh, for this episode. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm noticing that I put the picture over the little thing there that says like and subscribe. Guys, thank you for watching these videos. It makes my day. It makes my day if it's only 50 of you, if it's only 20 of you. Sometimes it goes up to 100, 200, whatever. I'm a small YouTuber who's just doing this for fun. So anybody that watches and comments, I'm like, wow, thank you, because you really don't have to. So it's really cool when I get people to come on here and chat. But let's get back to the episode, and I'll do some more promos later because I do put some other stuff on this channel which you might enjoy. This is kind of some thoughts on episode 5 and 6, which is I really love how I know this crew now. I know Oa. I know I can say her name, Oa, although that's only a shortened version of her name, but that's what Michael called her. That's what I'm going to call her. I know Detmer. We all know Tilly. But even the other characters, like this scene here, they were all receiving their new comm badges and they were all going gaga over all the cool things that their comm badges can do. And the camera panned across to all of the bridge crew, and the actors look happier. I don't know if it's because they got more lines, they got more screen time, but they look alive. The ship, the bridge looks alive finally, whereas before they were just placeholders. Now, personally, I would be happy to play a recurring role as a tree on Star Trek. I don't know. I mean, maybe in the holodeck or something. That like I would, you could bury me and I'd die happy. So I'd be happy to be just a body on the bridge. But I imagine I'd be even happier if, wow, now I got stuff to do. They're giving me little tidbits. Star Trek Discovery, I don't think is ever going to be on the level of, let's say, well, the other treks, TNG, namely TNG, Voyager, DS9, or Enterprise, where I think it's going to give you that traditional A plot, B plot, where I might have a whole episode just about Geordi falling in love with the hologram, or Odo and Quark on a, what do you call it, on a little shuttle going somewhere. I don't think it's gonna have that. Okay, and I don't think I mind it. I think, but if it can at least be like TNG, because TNG, TOS, the original series, where yes, every episode the main focus was Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. That was the trio. But even still, even though we rarely had, although there were episodes where Ahura and Sulu and even Chekhov and Scotty got to shine. They got their like meaty little scenes in there. Um, we never had just like the full episodes of, this is Ahura's day, this is Sulu's day, like we would with TNG and the later series. But if Discovery can be on that level of TOS, I'd be happy because it wasn't even on that level for the first two seasons. You couldn't pay me like if you told me I'll give you like $100 if you can name me one um, character from the bridge, like their name, I'd be like, and I just lost $100. So that's changing slowly, and it's cool. I don't mind if we have the core being Michael and Saru and Tilly to some extent, obviously Stamets, and we have the new girl. What's her name? I forgot now. The that has the symbiont in her. Um, but I don't mind if we have that. You know, Colbert every once in a while, but give us a little bit of this bridge crew because they're really nice characters, guys. Star Trek Discovery season 3. Let me just look something up here because I know I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something, but which are characters' names? Which are characters' names? I am so terrible at this. But like I said, I'm going in between classes here. I have very little time, but I'm doing my best. And I thank all of you for watching once more. Um, Adira. That's who I was thinking of. Adira, played by Blue Del Barrio. And Ian Alexander is so cute as Gray. We'll talk about them a little bit more a little bit later. Um, so yes, give these other characters some screen time. Let them do something. Let them go on an away mission every once in a while. That would be really nice if they let them go on an away mission, or have an episode that just focuses on them. Because this episode almost started like that. I was like, wow, we haven't seen Burnham. Burnham came in like what a 10 minutes in, almost, if not more. And I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, I'm really digging seeing the bridge crew get training, and it was cool. It was very cool. But we do eventually get to Burnham. Why? Because our friend Book, that had been left behind, sent this distress signal that that things were wrong where he was, and Burnham had to make a decision. Either she follows Saru's order, because Saru was told by the Admiral, you got to stay here because we may have an issue with this planet and we may need the Discovery to, get there real fast. So you got to stay here with us and be on hold, okay, for when this happens. So Saru told Michael, listen, we can't go all the way to East Bumble F to go save your boyfriend. He didn't say it exactly like that. But Michael takes it upon herself to just do it. Go rogue. Go rogue with Giorgio. And that's what they do. They end up on this planet. It's like a junkyard planet to try to get this little black box, which has information about the burn. It was like the last recorded messages and transmissions from all the ships before the burn. Destroyed them all, and of course, she wants to save Book. And Giorgio and Michael are just great together. They have really great chemistry. So I like that this episode focused on just the two of them. And there we got Book on the planet. This whole sequence, guys, was very adventure oriented. It wasn't deep Star Trek, if you want to call it that. But that's fine. I like my adventure. And again, it goes back to a more of a TOS feel. I'm a big fan of TOS. That's my favorite Star Trek, even though I consider Deep Space Nine to be the best written Star Trek. But TOS is like my heart favorite. And mainly because it was an adventure show. It was like a Western out in space. And yes, we'd have those moments of pop philosophy and the Federation ideals and blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, it was Captain Kirk having to punch somebody out, right? To 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 get to where he needed to go. Other times, no, he would outthink them. That's what's cool, the balance. But for those people that don't like action and don't like adventure and Star Trek, I don't know what show you've been watching. Maybe you've been watching TNG, because yes, TNG is very talkative, and it's one reason why it took me forever to get into it. And eventually, of course, I appreciated what TNG brought to the franchise, but yeah, you gotta have patience with TNG. You gotta have a lot of patience with it because it's talky as hell compared to TOS and even the other series like Voyager. Voyager has a very TOS feel to it, and DS9 when they get to Dominion War is a nice blend of the action and the diplomacy sides of both TNG and TOS. Saru having to make tough choices. I'm glad that they're making Saru's entrance into captainhood not an easy one. He's got to make a lot of tough choices, and one of them is what to do with Michael because she disrespected him. She disrespected one or disobeyed a direct order. What do you do with a girl like that? It's not the first time she's done it. Yes, they're friends, and yes, he says he doesn't trust her, but deep inside, he does because she's not out there doing something nefarious. She's trying to help, but it's Starfleet. You gotta follow orders. You gotta follow orders, and not only that, that was an order from the admiral, so it makes everybody look bad. He's having this conversation with Tilly, and Tilly kind of tells him that you got to report it to the admiral because if the admiral finds out from somebody else that she went rogue, it's going to not reflect just on you. It's going to reflect on everybody. So they had a really great combination. A lot of great one-on-one scenes in this episode, which is great because just this weekend I was watching a lot of DS9 clips, Garrick and Bashir particularly, but also some Odo and um, Quark scenes. And one thing that DS9 and TNG too excelled at, but I think DS9 even more, just having these quiet scenes where just two characters are talking over a table and you allow for the character to grow based on these conversations. They don't necessarily have to relate to the full plot. I don't think DS9 is on that level of sophistication yet that DS9 was on, where like that conversation was important to move the plot forward. But I think they can get there. I really do think that they can get there because they're having faith in their actors and having faith in their writing to in the characters that they created to allow for these types of scenes that don't necessarily have to do with moving this week's plot forward. So great scene. And Saru, what else can you say about him? Now we get to Michelle Yeoh, Giorgio. Last week, um, everybody was debriefed at Federation headquarters, but she was debriefed by Mr. Cronenberg, the mystery man, great director, Cronenberg. And she's starting to have these weird like flashes out. And in this episode, we get to see what's in her mind. She's actually seeing scenes what appears to be from the Terran universe. So what did he do to her? Or did he not do anything? Did he just awaken something in her that she didn't know was there? I have a weird feeling that she's having like this the Terran version of PTSD because he told her some hard stuff. He told her, "Look, the mirror universe is no longer with us." And there he is right there on the screen. And we haven't had contact with them for over 500 years. So did this shock, like maybe she's going through shock. She's going through something that she never has experienced before, absolute separation from her people. Because you would imagine that even though she left the mirror universe, in the back of her mind, she thought, well, maybe there's some way to get back there. And as we've seen in Star Trek throughout the years, there's definitely ways to get back there that we find out later. So perhaps that's what she's going through, some sort of shock. It may not be anything more than that, But let me know your thoughts if maybe Mr. Cronenberg, who's the mystery man, they didn't give him a name, did something to her, similar to what she did to those holograms by just blinking. Now, who is this guy? We don't know. He could be Section 31, could be the setup for getting Giorgio into this Section 31 show. And it made me think, because a lot of people have been wondering, how can she be in the Section 31 show if she's all the way in the future? Well, it didn't occur to me, but it did after this scene. Maybe Section 31 is in the future. Why does the Section 31 show have to be set back in the time of Discovery? I don't think it needs to be. And I don't even know if there would be that many interesting things for them to do back then because, the Federation is just starting. I mean, maybe there could be. But I think I'd be more excited to see what Section 31 would be up to in the future, including time travel. So, hey, maybe she would be able to travel back and forth in time, be a time agent. I don't know. There's like a world of possibilities for where this could go in a future. But I think I'd be more interested in a Section 31 show set at the time that Discovery's in right now because of how dismantled everything is and how they kind of really do need this subversive agency to do the dirty work because I imagine it's very dirty work that's going on right now in the future. And I'm just guessing that Mr. Cronenberg is part of Section 31. Plus, I was not a big fan of Tyler, so I don't want to I don't want to go back in the past and have to deal with him again. So yes, let your Joe deal with this future Section 31. Now, speaking of character scenes, one of the loveliest scenes was when Stamets found Adira talking to herself, and they connected, and I totally missed this connection. Stamets, remember, Colbert used to appear to him when after he died. I had totally forgotten that, and he notices she's talking to herself, and she explains, "Look, I don't know how it happened, but somehow, like it seems like her soul transferred to me, not just her memories. My boyfriend, I keep saying her. I'm sorry. His soul and his memories transferred to me, and I can actually like physically see him." And it's cool that it kind of was explained that only Adira can see him, which is gray, by the way. But Stamets kind of just listens to it and says, I believe you. If you say that the soul was transferred to you and that person that you love is still with you, I believe you because the same thing happened to me. And it really humanizes him and it shows that he can help this girl get through this. And she's very awkward like he is. And man, this was such a cute scene. And the smiles on their faces, I mean, it seemed like three people that really, really love each other just as actors, as people out off screen, not just on screen. And it just bled through the screen. I'm like, you got to be a really, really, really great actor to just fake that chemistry that these three had. These felt like real, genuine smiles that the three of them had. And then later, Stamets and Colbert have a really cute scene in their quarters where he's kind of just realizing, hey, maybe I can be a sort of a guiding force. I think that's the humbling that Stamets has had to have this season, especially with Tilly, right? How mean he was to Tilly, and then realizing, listen, I mean, I could be a mentor to her. She's an effing genius, right? Why am I being such a hard ass? I don't need to be like, I am the man, but I don't have to be the man all the time. So I like that. I like these character development moments. And this is the closest that I just mentioned how DS9 would have these scenes that didn't necessarily advanced the plot, but they were awesome scenes and they advanced the characters and let us know more about the characters. This was one of these scenes. Well played, Star Trek Discovery. And oh my God, we got the kiss we've been waiting for. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, yes, yes. I was not a fan of Tyler and Michael. Now, Book and Michael, I loved from scene one, and I was just waiting for this to go down. And he is one good-looking man. Oh my goodness! So I'm sure I don't know how much acting went into this into this scene either, but it was a really funny scene though because there was that alien whose name escapes me now, um, who kept pressing his intercom. That was kind of like the running gag of the show. He kept getting his communicator to transport him to the wrong places, and just as they're about to kiss, is this wonderful scene where they're just all getting together. Um, their lips are about to touch, and then boop, here appears on the he appears inside the turbo lift, and it was really funny. It was really funny. I loved it. And then I said, "Oh no, uh, are they going to uh, let us wait, make us wait?" And of course, no. He's like, "You know what? Let's finish this scene. Let's get this going." And it was awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. I loved it. And guys, write down the name of this character because I forgot the little alien that had the flu in season two. He's just a recurring character that I love. He doesn't do much, but let me see if I can find it here. Yes, this is live, people. This is live. Yeah, I can't find out who he is, but I'm sure all of you are way cooler than me and know all of the characters by heart by now. I don't happen to be one of these people. But anyway, that kiss was everything. Let me see if I put character with the flu. Oh, there he is. Doug Jones and David Benjamin Tomlinson. So David Benjamin Tomlinson, he plays the Linus. Yeah, he's a bit awkward, but he's completely comfortable in his awkwardness. He doesn't feel weird about it. He likes what he likes. No apologies. Nice. So this is from TrekMovie.com. Doug Jones and David Benjamin Tomlinson talk Star Trek Discovery Season 3 hints and Season 4 prep. Yes, all you people that said that Star Trek Discovery was going to be canceled after one season, guess what? Season 4 is coming, and season 3 has been awesome. And we got the Admiral again, because he is cool, okay? He is definitely cool, and Admiral Vance. And Michael had to face the music, right? And he scolded her and he told her, "Listen, I mean, I'm giving direct orders here. You undermined your captain. Imagine if we needed the Discovery and then he's without his first officer. Bam, boom, boom, bam, boom." He kind of smacked her around a little bit. He did it the worst way. He's like, "What would I say to you right now?" And she, that's like the worst humiliation where you know exactly what he would have said. So you know you did wrong. Um, and he left it up to Saru to give her punishment, right? He didn't put her in the brig only because she saved lives. And Saru did what I thought he needed to do, which is fire her, basically. But he demoted her to just chief science officer. And that was the right decision. She said it herself. But once again, Michael is crying, guys. Of the 6 episodes, I believe there's only one episode that she didn't cry yet. It hasn't been as dramatic as season 2 crying, but come on. I mean, does she seriously need to cry every episode or get emotional, put that emotional face? I don't know, somewhere along the line, somebody must have told her that's acting, or somebody's telling her this is acting, so you need to show your emotional face. And it's like, oh my God, it's annoying as all get out. I don't like it. If some of you like it, and it sucks because this season they've been writing Michael a lot better. They softened her up. She's a lot more humble. I like that she's kind of confused about, where's my place in Starfleet after I've experienced this whole new world for a year. There's a lot of, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I forgot now. Subtle, not subtleness, but similar to that. There's a lot of this in her character right now, which we didn't see in the past seasons, and it's making her. I'm slowly growing to like Michael a little bit more, but the crying's got to stop. Okay, the crying definitely has to stop. And then we have Vulcan's next episode. I know in the group some people were like, "Why didn't they go to Vulcan? Why didn't they go to Vulcan?" And some of you guys just need to like grow up or just enjoy the show. It's like they didn't go to Vulcan because majority of the crew is Earthling, and they don't know what happens to the Federation, and the Federation headquarters is Earth. So let's jump to Earth. And then the reason they didn't go to Vulcan directly after that, which would have been a logical decision because that's like the sister planet, in the Federation, is because of Adira and the information that she had. It's like, we got to get to Trill. And then once they got to Trill, they figured out where Federation was. We got to get to the Federation headquarters. And now, yes, it would make more sense to go to Vulcan. Because what if they go to Vulcan and they get the same greeting that they got at on Earth? When they tried to get into Earth's atmosphere, or airspace, whatever you want to call it, space. So yeah, guys, chill out. Although when I was looking up stuff here on IMDb, you still got people that really don't like Star Trek Discovery, which is fine. I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. Why people are still um, so worked up over Star Trek Discovery. Look at this. Look at this. Star Trek Discovery. It's got a 7.3. So I think it's gone up in the popularity has gone up on IMDb, which is nice. But let's see if I can find anything on season 3. There we go. List of episodes. So the episodes have been getting 7.5. This episode, Die Trying got 7.9 average. Scavengers got a 6.9 on the IMDb. And this was just a wasted episode, seemingly designed to give us a full hour of Michael and her constant disobedience of Star Trek direct orders, or Starfleet, I guess, so she can do just what the hell she wants. And the stupid whisper acting is grating, especially when she whispers and the other actors speak back in a normal tone. That last part I can agree with. Her whisper acting is annoying, really annoying. That along with the crying. But yeah, some bad reviews here. I'm afraid that after giving it so many chances, the only receiving mildly attuned Star Trek, it has come to this. The show is so bad only because of Michael's bad acting. I mean, how long before you change the MO? It's been 3 seasons of repeatedly told by fans that her character is unnecessary to the show. Yes, I kind of have to agree that she's the weakest link. I love the crew's development and the romance between Adira Gray, Hugh Paul, but Michael is just the worst. Yeah, she is the weakest link, which is a shame. And that kind of sucks. That does kind of sucks. But whispers and furrowed brows, uh, a filler episode, put a red shirt on Burnham and have her die. Oh boy. Yeah, man. I don't know how Sonequa deals with it, how the production staff deal with it. I know they've tweaked her character. She's more bearable this season than before, but I can't disagree with some of these reviews of her character. Um, well, though, here somebody is talking about how Tilly is so fat. Ugh, yeah, that's a stupid comment. And she's not that fat. She's thick, but there are plenty of naval officers, etc., that, are heavier today, and I'm sure there's going to be some heavier ones in the future. There's plenty of heavy set or heavier uh, admirals and other Starfleet officers. If you watch Star Trek, you would know. So why can't Tilly be a little round? And she looks wonderful, a little round. So I love that she's body positive. So that's a stupid comment. But I don't want to sit here and read IMDb reviews, but I do agree with what they say about Burnham. Burnham is baggage, and I get perked up the less screen time she has, unless it's screen time with somebody very interesting like Saru or um, Philippa, because they just raise the bar, and they make her a better character. So, what a shame that we may have a Star Trek series whose lead character will be the least liked character of the whole series. Makes me wonder, is there any other series like that? I mean, everybody loves, well, I can't say everybody, but Kirk is definitely beloved among fans, as is Picard, as is, well, look, I'll say this, Janeway and Cisco took a while. It took a while. Janeway is grading as all get out for about 2 seasons. It was literally when she let her hair down, which is kind of what Burnham has done now, that I started to dig her character. But yes, she was grating. I was not feeling Janeway for a while. The Doctor was my favorite character. That's the one that kept me watching every week. But then Janeway just matured into her character, and she's awesome. She's one of my favorite captains. And Cisco was the same, very wooden. First 2, 3 seasons, you're just like, what? Like, it was hard to find anybody that I liked on DS9 for the first season or two. But eventually, Avery Brooks just grew into that character, and then it was like, yo, Cisco is the baddest of the baddest of the baddest captains in Star Trek. Seriously, don't F with that man. But at the same time, he's the guy you want on your side. He's the father figure you want. So who knows? Maybe Burnham will grow. I mean, I like the development. It's not as bad as season 1 and 2, but there's still a long road to go to make this a likable character. Just start with not making her cry, please. Start with not making her cry. and and that's it. Beyond that, that's all I gotta say, guys. We're getting to the 40-minute mark. So thank you for watching my Star Trek Discovery Season 3 episode review. And like I said at the beginning, I do a host of other things on this channel. On Monday nights, I'm on with my friend Pete. We talk about movies, what we've watched during the week. On Thursdays, it's Star Trek. And every once in a while, I'll be on lives with my friend Renee, and we'll talk love, sex, and relationships. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to do on Fridays, because I was doing, not on Fridays, on Sundays, because I was doing Lovecraft Country, and I'll see if I come back with something else. And before that, I was doing Walking Dead. So right now, Sundays are stopped. But Monday movies, Thursday Star Trek, Fridays, who knows? I post some music sometimes. And guys, check out my Instagram, Phil Ray Music, where you can see me play the guitar. All right. Live long and prosper, Trekkies and Trekkers. I will see you next time. Bye bye.